Welcome back to my channel, everyone. I wanted to say hello. I've missed you all so much. Quick update. I've had 2 surgeries this year and I'm starting to get a lot better. My TMJ surgery and my tonsillectomy. So now that I'm doing better, minus a little bit of bronchitis, which I'm going to edit out in this video. But now that I'm doing better, I want to make some more content again. I can't guarantee it's all going to be Wolfden content. I'd like to branch out a little bit, but I'm mostly going to stick to cozy games. So farming sims, my time at Portia, Dreamlight Valley, and some other upcoming games next month. I might still have some Wolfden videos every so often, depending what Wolfden updates, but the game's kind of slow right now, so I gotta branch out, do other things. This video is for a cozy game I'm super excited for on Kickstarter called Loftia. We're going to go through the trailer and do a things you might have missed in the Loftia trailer video. Inspired by other videos that do this for Pokemon, movies, stuff like that. I didn't come up with the idea. I also want to do a quick announcement that I'll be streaming cozy games on Twitch from now on. And if I do any more Wolfden streams, they'll also be on Twitch. So I'll put my new Twitch link in the description. Follow if you can, and hopefully I'll see you there in the future. Now let's get started on the video. So here we are. This is the Loftia official announcement trailer. It's also the same video from the Kickstarter. I have it set at 1080p, so it's the best quality it could be, for my computer at least. And it's set at half playback speed, so we can go a little bit slower, make sure we don't miss anything. So there's not much in the beginning, and we can see the Loftia floating islands in this scene. In the top right, we can see these little arches that might be the starting area. I do believe this could be an opening cutscene for the game, either when you open the game or when you first make your character and enter the game. One thing I love about Loftia is the art style. It looks super pretty, and I love the way they've done the characters. So in this first opening scene, we can see an example of a starter character. We know there's going to be a lot of customization options, but I'm not sure how much will be available from the first day. Some things to note, we have some cool ripped jeans. This t-shirt is especially interesting to me. Most of the shirts we see in the trailer have shirts that go to the elbows or the wrist or the shoulder, but this shirt actually goes down to the hands. As we can see, it gloves the hands. So will there be t-shirt options that can go on the hands as well? That's pretty cool. I also really like the headphones. This might be an accessory you have to have in the beginning, because later on we do see them take it off in the trailer. But I think this is a really cool accessory for people with sensory difficulties, might be on the autism spectrum, stuff like that. So we see him walking in. Over here we have kind of a varsity jacket. This girl's pretty cool. She has a little rabbit type backpack, and it's the only backpack I've been able to spot in the trailer. She also has socks attached to her shoes. So it's possible that this could be one style, or we could customize socks. Also, we have this yellow box over here. We know from the Kickstarter that these are recycling stations. A lot of the items in the game you can turn back into the materials. It also said you can donate items to these stations. So it's possible that these might end up in the thrift store, or other people can get items. There's what I mentioned where he takes off the headphones. It might happen with any accessory, or it could just be part of this particular cutscene. Or your character might always start with headphones that they take off. In this scene, we can see some more clothing and hair accessories. This girl over here has some long braids in the front. Over here, we can see a headband. In the center, there's this big dome, and you can see this is where they access your homes later on. Over here, we have more accessories. We can also see some construction projects going on. To the left is a turbine, and I'm not sure what the right is, but there is scaffolding. So it's possible you can build more than one project at once in the game. Now that we've zoomed out a bit more, we can see some more things. It looks like this might be a solar panel type project. We do know power is a big part of the game. To the left in this corner, we can see a girl with some pigtails that are pretty cute. We also see some houses to the left and what looks like it could be the technological center to the right. Now that we're zoomed out a bit more, we can spot a few other things. In the bottom right, we have a girl with a hijab. That's pretty cool. I know the devs want to be super inclusive. And in our final zoom out here, we can see a few more things. So this dome in the top right is the technological center dome where we're able to research new technologies. But I think the coolest part of this zoom out is in the bottom left here. We see two people lying on the grass with their pet cat. We don't see this anywhere else in the trailer, but it does show that there might be emotions or emoticons you can do. We do know you can sit on benches, which is pretty obvious, but if there's an option for you to lay down wherever you are, I also like that the pet is laying down with you. Now, it might just be for the cutscene, or they could be NPCs. It could be anything like that. One more thing, in the middle here, we see a character with Pebble. Pebble is the mascot of the game. He is a chinchilla, and it's clear that he helps us in the game, at least in the tutorials at the beginning. But it's fascinating that your character is in the middle here in this cutscene, yet we see Pebble standing to the right. So maybe this is a spot during the game where Pebble stands all the time. Here we are back at this shot. We can see a few more things now. There is kind of this shop in the background with a clock. I'm not sure if the clock will move, but if it does, it'll probably show either Loftian time or your time zone's time. I do notice there's another recycling box here to the left. I think this might be the bakery. I know it's not the cafe, but it could be the bakery or the boba shop. Here we can see this person running. So running will probably be a feature in the game. So here we are again. This is Pebble the mascot, and he's got the little red flag, which I super appreciate if you've never met this character before. It will make it easier to find him. I imagine this is really right when you enter the game. So if I had to guess, you have the gondola shot, then you walk in and you see the shot of the dome and the entire Loftia main center, and then you see Pebble, and Pebble leads you around in the tutorial. Here we are next. Pebble is leading us to one of the projects. This is the project we saw to the left, and we know it's an air turbine. I believe it generates energy in the game. I do want to point out a few other things, though, in this shot, because there's a lot of things going on in this shot. So it looks like we're following Pebble. We also have this cute little thing to the left that looks like it could be a shop. There's some bottles, something that might look like cheese, and some fruit baskets in the bottom. It's possible this might be a shop where we can buy items, like a general shop, or it could be something else. I also love the aesthetic that we have the real wood post here, but the solar panels on top. They do say this game is solar punk themed, but it's like steampunk mixed with renewable energy. Here we get a closer shot at the project. We can see a ton of materials here, as well as an NPC that seems to be leading the project. So this is where we're going to go to hand in items and help with the project. We can see tons of different items here, toolboxes, fabric, wood, all kinds of things. I also quickly want to note, it looks like this guy over here is wearing a beret. It could not be a beret, but I think it's a beret. On to this left menu. This is a progress bar for the wind turbine construction. We can see this is stage 1 scaffolding, and there's a construction meter and a builder's meter. So for the construction, this is where we gather materials. It shows copper wire, welding goggles, and power. We know we have to generate renewable power in this game, and there's eco cells that we store our power in, which we can see all around. They look like the little lights. You'll also notice if you scroll down, there's room for maybe 2 or 3 more items. Down here, we have the builder's bar. I think we have to keep the builders fed, but also well taken care of. This says food supplies, so this might be made off of the crops we grow. Hydration. We do know there's water in the game that we might get from the waterfalls. We also know the waterfalls can probably be used to generate power somehow. And morale. I'm not sure what you'd have to do to raise the morale, but pretty much that means making them happy. And we notice if we scroll down, there's room for one more thing, most likely. I just want to mention quick, I love this NPC's outfit, and I hope there's some kind of rewards where we get outfits like these. Like if you finish the turbine, maybe you also could get some construction clothes, or it'd be cool if they gave anyone who worked on it construction clothes. I love that in Club Penguin that you could get jobs and they would give you an outfit according to that job. So that'd be something I'd super love to see in this game. Next up, we see this farming area. This is probably another place you visit in the tutorial, as you can see Pebble with you as well. It also kind of feels like it could be part of a cutscene. I personally think this could be a public garden, but I think it's more likely it might be like a clubhouse garden. Because we have this area underneath. It could be stores, but it would be pretty cool if it was the clubhouses for the guilds, and then the guilds had their own private gardens on top. There's some grapes. We see tomatoes and watermelon, and what could be eggplants. And we see the planters that we know we have to work to upgrade. Because over here, the planter only has 1 level, but all the other ones have 3 levels. We also see these shelves in the background, and I'm not sure if they'll have a purpose. They could just be decorative, or they could be a place where we could add another planter. And I know there's a name for these planters in the game, but I'm just going to call them planters for simplicity's sake. We also see another girl working here to the left. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see the other people planting, and we haven't seen much information yet if you can plant in a regular box. So this might just be part of the cutscene. Now we see Pebble leading us to this garden. This one's probably always 1 level in the beginning. I imagine this is a tutorial type garden, that maybe it'll just be your own garden, or maybe everyone can access this garden, but they'll get their own version of it. That way you can learn how to farm before you get overwhelmed with farming. We also see in the back there's bees. We know honey keeping will be a big part of this game, and other insects will be able to influence your crops as well. In order from left to right, we have tomatoes, mushrooms, sunflowers, some type of bellflower, wheat, grapes, what I think is grapefruit or pomegranates, and pink roses. Here is the planter. As we can see, we get 5 spots to plant in the first level. And to the left is the status of our planter. I'm hoping this won't be too complicated for new players. I don't imagine we're going to get all these crops the first time we plant. They've probably added some seeds here to show off what we can eventually plant. It would make most sense for your first time planting to get 1 or 2 seeds. That way they could teach you the functions of the game in the simplest way. So we have temperature, which can just easily be adjusted with this button. We also have pH level, which can be easily adjusted. These affect the plants. I believe different plants will need different temperatures and levels. Next up, we have nutrients. This could be some type of fertilizer we craft or we buy. And we can see the add button. Energy to run the farm. Right now it's at 0, but we also know we can make eco cells and they're used to power things in the game. So you probably click charge, put in an eco cell or something like that, and it powers your planter. And finally at the bottom we have water, which we have to click add. So I imagine you can carry water somehow, or it'll just be connected. We do see this pipe in the bottom right, so maybe water's always connected. You just have to click add to add more water. Here we see them adding a sunflower. To the right, we can see the different stages. You can see the growth percentage and the health. I believe health will be affected by temperature and pH level. The other stuff's definitely important, but these probably relate to the specific plant, and the bottom stuff relates to all plants and running your planter. So here we see the finished sunflower. They've also adjusted a few of the things on the left. Temperatures went up 3 degrees, and we have more water, more energy, and more nutrients, which makes sense because we have 15 plants in this upgraded planter. We also see that the stages are finished. They were seed, sprout, budding, and then flower. This might change to like fruit or veggie. And I also want to go through the plants we do see quick because there are some more plants. We see carrots, grapes, sunflowers, tomatoes, watermelons, flowers, wheat. I'm not sure what this is, but I think it's an artichoke. Chili peppers. I believe these are lychees or lychees. And the top ones aren't that grown, so we can't really see what they are. This is Hazel's Florist Shop. I imagine this will be a place where you buy seeds. At the right, we can see the area we were just at, I believe. So I think the florist shop's pretty close to that garden. And we also see another tiny recycle box. Hazel's shop is pretty cool because it seems like you're able to upgrade the shop. This might unlock more seeds for the community, or it could just unlock more options or abilities. Now, we don't know what we'll need to upgrade the shop, but he is giving her a flower, so it's possible we might have to grow so many flowers to prove that we're ready for the next level. One thing I love about Hazel's shop is this little plant she's holding. It's not anything we see in the trailer, but it looks really cool. It's got this like poison icon at the top, so it might have something to do with magic or poison, or maybe a special event flower. This is the second level of Hazel's shop. It is sprouting up and it's 32% finished. They've added some more items. We can see these lights. They might be flowers, but I believe they're lights because they have a bit of a glow. I also noticed this bike in the bottom left under Hazel's speech. It's probably just an accessory because it appears when the shop upgrades, but I think a really cool item to travel around on would be customizable bikes. I think it's also interesting that there's a signboard. We only ever see this same image on the signboards in the trailer, but it could just be a placeholder image. I think it would be really cool to put different images in these boards, or the hours, or maybe like positive messages. Here is the third upgrade, Garden Glory, and it is 73% done. We can see a lot more ivies grown in, and they've added even more plants. I really like these orange bright flowers. They also feel like they could be a light or a glowing flower. These hanging planters are really cool. That would be a really cool furniture option. And this is the final upgrade, Bloomtopia, which will likely unlock at 100%. In the bottom left, we see our character with Pebble once again. And honestly, the shop is just overfilled with flowers. There's so many small things. A lot of these might be flowers we can grow in the game. We do know there are stations where you can grow hanging fruit, so this might be a flower we can also grow. My favorite thing here are the mushroom lights. We know we can grow mushrooms, so maybe this is something we can craft. Now, we never see Hazel's door open, so we don't know if you can go inside yet, but it would be kind of weird if you can't go inside the shop. I would guess that you could buy from Hazel anytime she's outside because she's always outside in the trailer. Now, this next shot is about the cafe. We know the cafe is a place where you can study with friends and voice call. To the left, we see another recycle box. And we can see this guy in the top right with a little black hat. I think it's really cool that the cafe has so many areas. I'm not sure if the bottom over here will have the cafe function, but it'd be really cool if you can go outside and still use the cafe function on the second floor. Now, my favorite part of this shot is something about pets. We know because they've released a penguin trailer with penguin pet that there's older pets and younger pets, but we have not seen the older and younger for every single pet. They're kind of hidden in the trailer for the few we do see. But in the bottom left here, we can see a big duck and a bunch of little ducklings. I don't know yet if you can keep your pet young forever. I think that would be an amazing feature, maybe like a special treat or a premium item. But I really want to be able to have tiny ducks. We also have a stoplight. I think that's interesting because there's not really roads or cars. We do see the bike again, so it could be a hint at bikes. And finally, we see the street light. The street lights we saw before looked more like trees. They had the two palm leaves to the top, but this one looks more industrial. I also love this cat. I don't think it's someone's pet. I just think it's a random cat NPC that lays there, and I hope we can pet him. And the last thing I want to point out is it looks like they're eating some bread here and some kind of accessory over here. It looks like a cut up baguette to me, but it could be anything. But not every table has food, so it's possible we can bring food and place it on the table like we're eating it. Here we see Pebble leading him once again, so this is probably part of the tutorial still. Pebble taking us around and showing us different locations. They're excited to meet us. Great. So this is the inside of the cafe. I love the books, but I don't think they'll be readable. I think that'd be a lot of work for the devs. Although a function where you could write your own books could be really cool, but it would take a lot of moderation. But I do notice another pet sleeping in the left, and I do notice these drinks on the table. We do know there's cafes and boba shops, and your character can get a part-time job in the cafe. So you can probably get these items and carry them around with you, possibly placing them on a table. Here's more of the cafe. We don't see much in this angle. We see pencils and books, and some books on the floor, and a little seating area to the right. We also get a few more hairstyles in this shot. This girl has a split look. This girl has tiny braids, and this person in the back is bald. Here we are joining them. I do think this part might be an automated cutscene to teach you about it, because if you're coming here for the first time, you're not going to have 3 friends sitting there, but it's possible they've mixed a few different parts of the game. We also see this person reading with a book. It's weird that she's standing up because we don't see many people in the cafe standing while reading, so it's possible she could be an NPC that runs the cafe. Here we are with the study screen. So we know the study function is you sit down and you do stuff in real life and you study together or other tasks. I plan to use it to do stuff at my desk, maybe edit videos, but probably sew stuffed animals and sort enamel, maybe work on shipping. So we know you can have at least 4 people in the crew. You can probably name your crew, which is awesome, and you can all be on voice call. There is a mute button, so they don't always have to hear you. And there's Loftia songs that can play while you're studying. I think shuffle will take you to another random song because we don't see a next button. The only thing I haven't noticed is a volume control button, but I think that might be in settings. Like you'll have a bunch of audio options to process. We also have a chat box in the bottom left, so you can chat without microphone. In the middle, we have a timer, which is probably the time you want to study. It's possible when you start, you can put in the time you want to study, or it could be a function of the group. And we have your current task, which for this person is environmental studies. And while the tasks right here are related to the game, I believe you'll be able to put in your own custom tasks. To the top right, we have a calendar and dates for Loftia events. So we can see this is campaign launch day, this is a fan art event, and a mystery event. Now these events did happen, so I'm not sure what the mystery event was, but it was probably something in the Discord. Also, this girl has something that looks like it could be a hot dog or a stapler. I'm not sure what it is, but it is interesting. Over here, we have another part of the study session. As we can see, one person is left, and I do notice that while I thought this arrow was to see more people in the group, the arrow went to the left, even though there was 3 people. So the arrow might do something else. Maybe it allows you to add people. And we can see the task is now finished. They've checked off the task, and the timer for the session is pretty much closed. This is an area that you enter inside the dome, and it takes you to player houses. The only other thing to note is this man over here, or person, also has a beret, but this one's beige. We don't see Pebble in this scene, so it's possible that this is an NPC, but I don't think so. It's a friend. But this is not a tutorial part because we don't see Pebble. Also, this person in the back here was wearing headphones. So here you can select whose house you want to go to depending who's in the bubble. Now, I don't think the houses are below that bubble. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I think that's just a transition because we do see the houses back in the background, but maybe it's just for the trailer or maybe that's just what they do. Here we have a very basic house. I possibly think this could be your starting house because all the furniture is super plain. We see the grids on the bottom, so there will be a grid furniture placement system. Maybe it'll be unlockable, but we don't know. And to the left, we see a garden, which is probably a private garden, so we can plant our own plants, and no one else will have access to that garden, except maybe friends that we give access. Because we can see here that you can invite people to decorate your house with you, and if you select yes, it puts you in a group where you have microphone again. Here we have a cute theme, and as you notice, the platform has changed. There's room under this platform, so it's probably that platforms will be an accessory like a furniture item. We also notice that the farm is still there. You can see it here through the curtain, but they have added a wall here, so walls are customizable. Also, this bookshelf in the corner looks like it's diagonal, so we'll definitely have the ability to rotate items to a good degree. Here we see another theme, and this house is much bigger. I know we unlocked customizable house shapes in the Kickstarter, so this is probably one of them. And I believe this is a Gothic theme. We see a lot of furniture with mushrooms in these jars and these pots. These might be craftable items. We also see a boba to the right again, which makes me think the boba from the cafe is a placeable item. And finally, we have this cute cat on a cushion. I think this is really fascinating. It might just be the angle, but it looks like the guitar is laying over the chair. So I'm not sure where the garden is right now because the area to the left is quite bigger and we don't see anything out this window, but it's possible the garden is the angle that's facing us, like the fourth wall. Here is another room. This is one of my favorite shaped rooms. It might be like Animal Crossing where you can add walls, or it might be a completely different shaped room. I also noticed these ropes. I don't think there'll be anything below the ropes. Here we see another pet on a cushion, which is great. Every pet should have their own cushion. And I believe we've seen water bowls in other trailers. That might also be an accessory. We see watering cans a lot in this trailer, but we don't ever see a character holding a watering can. This laptop seems to be closed, where the laptop in the Gothic room was open, and there is an iPad tablet type accessory here. Here we see them walking in from the garden. We also see a few different pictures in these rooms. I'm not sure if you'll be able to select the picture in the frame, or it'll be like Animal Crossing where there's different paintings. I also really want to say I just love this accessory over here with the little shelves and the lamp. Now we're going to look at the customization real quick. They have mentioned that they want it to be as realistic as possible. People have disabilities, they want to include those in the game, and they don't want to limit you. So as we can see in the top left, you can change your name for gender fluid people, non-binary, transgender, stuff like that. We also see you can change your pet here, but it doesn't show a way to change their name. On the right, we have person, clothes, accessories, and then other options, and then hair, eyes, nose, and mouth. We have a bunch of hairstyles here, including more masculine styles and feminine styles, which is great. I don't believe gender will be limited in this game. Like females only get female accessories, males only get males. It seems like everyone's going to hopefully get everything. We also can customize our hair color, but you could also just do a custom color. Here we have a random button, and then a button that goes back. So if you change your mind, you can probably go back a few steps. It is of note that there's locked hairstyles here. It is an interesting choice that you see something with a lock instead of just blank area. Generally, if it's cosmetic items, it wouldn't show a lock because you wouldn't want everyone to have hair they couldn't get. So I believe possibly this is hair that anyone can unlock during the storyline or at certain community goals. Here's another outfit and some t-shirts. As we can see once more, there's all kinds of styles and a locked t-shirt at the bottom. We've already seen this outfit a few times in the trailer, but it is super cute. Here's another outfit. As you can notice, this girl has a prosthetic leg, which is super cool. I also love that it's not a prosthetic leg and a plain shoe. So it's likely that you can choose any shoe with the prosthetic leg. We have this masculine looking character that has what I would consider a more feminine outfit choice for the shirt, but it looks really good. It all mixes together super well. Here's another outfit. Something I do notice is she has earrings and possibly an eye stud. It's kind of hard to see. It might just be a pixel, but it looks like it could be a stud. This is probably in this category here, which is accessories. It probably includes makeup, piercings, maybe beards. We don't see beards in the trailer, but it's always possible. And we know it'll probably include backpacks because we do see a backpack in the trailer. Also, quick note, this is my favorite outfit in the trailer. The little froggy purse just makes me so happy inside, and I'm gonna have to get this outfit. If it's a starter outfit, that will be my starter outfit, 100%. Here we see the characters now customizing their pet. There will be accessories for the pet. We've seen some accessories on some pets, and some pets we haven't seen with any accessories. So I don't know if the accessories will only work on some pets, but we know the sprout hat in the Kickstarter for pets works on all pets. So I guess this is something we'll just have to see. And I also noticed they have a very limited color set for the accessories, or it's possible that it's their eyes, but his eyes look pretty dark black, and this is dark navy. And as a note, we don't have custom colors here. So here's a shot of the room again. My guess would be is that you can customize your outfit anywhere in the game, but it's possible you can only do it in your house as well. We see the character running. That's where the garden would be traditionally, but in the trailer, it jump cuts to the adventure mode. So in the game, adventures are a place where you kind of run levels, do puzzles. They look like a little bit of parkour, and you work together as a team. I haven't seen any solo adventures yet, but it might be more like a dungeon where you have to have so many players. I also noticed you have a dog with you, so you get to bring your pet. We don't see the other players' pets, so maybe only each person can see their own pet. And I do notice the uniforms are blue. It would be really cool if they had other color uniforms. Maybe it's random, maybe you can change it. I have no clue. I also love how they're all wearing safety gear. They have knee pads on, they have gloves. We do see someone fall in the trailer, so I'm glad that they're safe. Here we have an adventure screen. I believe this is when you start the adventure. In the bottom left, we have the time. I don't know if this will be Loftia time or your own time. We have the temperature, which is probably the temperature in the game. And we have your coordinates at the bottom left, which probably makes it easier to find each other during the adventure. Here you can also zoom into the screen, or you can return to the game. On the top right, we have a compass, which will probably change what direction you are. North is always north. And we have your character at the top left, whose name is Arlo. Finally, we have objectives, which are probably things you have to complete to finish the adventure. Inventory, which might be items you need during the adventure, like keys, or it could be items you've earned in the adventure. We have the map, which we are on. We have social, and then we have settings. I'm not sure what kind of settings there would be, though. Here we have spots pop up in the adventure, and people can select what spots they're going to go to. As we can see, people are splitting up in the adventure. 2 are going to one spot, and 2 are going to another spot. We know adventures will be very teamwork oriented. Here you see someone climbing the ladder as 2 people do a little mini task to keep the ladder steady. Here we have a little parkour part of the adventure. You double jump with these boots and he falls on his face. We also see a table here with some items that might be collectible. Here we see 3 people working on a puzzle together. 2 people must push this giant track on the railroad, and the final person gets to climb across. Here we see an area that might be accessible only by a pet, or it's possible the pet can just go in there and you can go in there. Here he reaches into this little box and he finds some items that we know are used for making the air turbines. In the right, he collects goggles. We have some of the copper wire here and 2 other things. Just like I said, this bench probably can get you items, but there's probably a lot of different things where you can find items within the adventure. And here we see what is probably after the adventure. The people are running to the construction area. We also see someone with the beginner clothes sitting in the construction area. It's possible you might be able to jump in here, or it might just be a random NPC working on it. And I want to note that this looks like it's right after the adventure because you still have your adventure clothes on. And the dog is also wearing a pair of goggles he found, which is adorable. So here we see they are giving the items they found in the adventure to the construction lady. It's possible this is just for the video, or this could be what happens in the game. This person down here also looks like they're wearing an earring. I really hope the dog gets to keep his goggles. So here we see different steps of the project once again. We can see this is the scaffolding stage where they're building the wires. Then we have stage 2 engine where they're building the engine. Lots of ladders, and we see someone walking up here. So I imagine you can go around the project and climb these ladders. This does also show the day-night cycle a little bit. We don't know how it's going to work, but it is pretty cool to see all the glowing things at night. Here we have casing, which is probably made from fabric. We don't know how we get fabric, but it would make sense if we have plants that we grow that could be made into fabric. But we haven't seen any examples of farming animals, so it's likely the fabric is made from plants. Here we have the final part of the construction, take flight. It is finished and it is super cute. We have seen another version of this. There is the orange goldfish turbine and there's a blue whale turbine. I believe this is a cutscene that will play when you're finished. It wouldn't make sense for everyone to have to be online at once to view this flight, because that would suck if you're in a weird time zone or you have school. What probably happens is you can go and celebrate it, and it'll add all the characters that worked on the project. The final thing to note in the bottom right is we can see some tiny capybaras, which are probably the baby capybaras. And here it goes, it's flying. Everyone's clapping. We can see the dome with some solar panels we couldn't see before. And that's about it. We see people on roofs, which is probably just part of the cutscene. And we see it go into the sky and it flies away forever. And that is the game Loftia. I might show in the future more stuff from this game, some news updates, because I'm very active on the server. I also wanted to note one thing we don't see in this trailer that we see on their TikTok are pets. There are a lot of features I didn't mention. There's an animal sanctuary where you're going to be able to rehab animals that you find in the wild and re-release them. Also in the animal sanctuary, I think that's where you're going to adopt pets. I'll try and put some screenshots from TikTok here. We see 3 different dog colors and 3 different cat colors. So there's different colors of cats and dogs. I also quickly want to mention the other animals that they have promised. So there was a stretch goal in the Kickstarter that they'd add 10 more pets, and they are adding a lot of pets. It seems like it might go far beyond 10 at this point. They have dogs, cats, ducks, capybaras, alpacas, turtles, penguins, red pandas, foxes, mini Highland cows, and they've just announced bunnies and frogs. We know there's 2 more pets coming, and there also will be pets in biomes and pets in the animal conservation list that you could rehab, and maybe sometimes they do end up staying with you. So that's about it. Check out the Kickstarter. I will put a link in the description, and also check out my Twitch channel. I will put a link in the description for that. I don't know what days I'll be streaming, but I do want to stream, and I have lots of games. I'll be streaming Switch games specifically, and I will be streaming Fae Farm when it comes out in a week-ish. It's like September 8th or 9th. And I will be streaming Paleo Pines when it comes out. I believe that's September 26th. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.